Welcome to Penny for Your Shots, conversations and cocktails with brilliant women. I'm your host, Penny Fitzgerald, and I believe the best stories are the ones shared over a glass of wine or a cocktail. Each week, I sit down with women who've said yes to building something meaningful, often after years of putting everyone else first. We talk business, big dreams, and the mess in between. And of course, a few favorite drinks. So grab a glass, get comfy, and let's pour ourselves into Penny for Your Shots. Today's episode features someone who is a lifesaver for busy entrepreneurs, the amazing Carrie McWherter. Carrie's a virtual assistant, or VA, who helps business owners get their systems, their inboxes, and their sanity in order. And in this conversation, she shares how she went from caring for her mother-in-law to running a thriving online business that keeps her clients organized, stress-free, and growing. You'll hear us talk about things like CRMs, which are customer relationship management tools that help you track clients and communication, and SOPs, or standard operating procedures. Basically, your repeatable checklists that make life and business so much easier. But this isn't just about tech and tools. It's about how women can take the skills we've built running households, caring for families, and juggling all the things, and turn them into thriving, flexible businesses that truly serve others. Let's pour a drink, get comfy, and jump in. Here is Carrie McWherter. Good morning, Carrie. How are you?
I'm good.
Did I see that you're in Central City?
Iowa.
I'm in Newhall, Iowa.
Since you're familiar, I'm actually closer to Stone City.
We could have done this in person.
Yes, that would have been more fun. We'll have to maybe do that sometime.
Get coffee together or something.
Yes. Be great.
So for my audience's benefit, and me too, tell me a little bit more about you, like what you do and like what you love about it.
Okay. So I'm a virtual assistant. I started my business about 3.5 years ago. I was caring for my mother-in-law who was in early stages of dementia, and I needed something that I could do while basically still being on call for her. When I learned about being a VA, I was like, hey, I love to organize and I like helping people. And I homeschooled our kids. So I was taking care of 2 households and I was keeping track of everybody's schedules and, kind of the things that I now do for clients. And so it just seemed like a good fit. I usually start with the organization piece for my clients. So doing things like cleaning up email inboxes, calendars, files, and then we move into setting up systems to basically help their day-to-day run more smoothly so that they can focus on growing their business and doing the things they love.
That's amazing. It's so important to have systems.
Yeah. It really makes a difference in, what you get done in a day. If you don't have a plan, then
oh my gosh,
you kind of bounce from one thing to the next.
Yeah. Well, and you're reactionary instead of like actually being intentional and able to work on the things that provide the most impact. You're scrambling to catch up with what you didn't get done yesterday or the day before.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I might be familiar with some of that. Yeah, that's cool. Because I think women kind of come at, we have all these skills that we, like you were saying, you were doing all these things for your family and now you're doing it for clients.
Yeah.
I think it comes a little bit more naturally to women to be able to organize things because we've done it for our families.
Because you have to find a time to do all the things anyway. And I mean, and that was like, when I started my business, I was like, I got married 2 weeks after I turned 18. Can I really have that imposter syndrome? I'm like, I never worked in corporate. When I started, I didn't know what a CRM was. I didn't know what it could do. And now I'm like, oh yeah, go high level all in ones. Yeah, I could do this and I could do that, And so then when you can find something that you love doing, it makes it that much easier. And any business, whether you're a coach or, helping people with health and fitness or business or, whatever, that it just makes it all, feel good and
come together.
Something you want to do.
Yeah, exactly. To create an impact for your people.
Yeah.
Wow. It's so smart that you didn't go into corporate.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah. So many of us who have, I was in corporate for a number of years, and the skills that you're talking about, you do use them in the corporate field, but any skills that you have that you learn along the way from either personal experience or raising a family or caring for elderly parents and or in the corporate world, all those skills, they're cumulative. So they all kind of build on each other. And there, I see and hear so many women talking about imposter syndrome or not even realizing that they have it.
Yeah.
We don't give ourselves enough credit.
No, once you get going, it's like, oh, wait a minute, I guess I can do that. And, and
Absolutely.
it's been great and even helping some of my clients to see it. It's like, okay, well, yeah, we can
Yeah.
make this happen. Like, what's that idea? And let's turn it into, a real thing. So,
Wow, that's so cool. Yeah. So you're helping organize, you're helping implement systems, but you're also kind of coaching
yeah, we do
and
some strategy sessions and just figure out,
yeah.
because a lot of times, like I said, they have the idea and they don't, on the tech side, they don't even know if it's possible. But it's like,
Hmm.
for an example, I had a client reach out a couple weeks ago who had this workshop, and she's like, I want to do it in 2 weeks, and I don't know how to set, like, I need these email reminders done, I need the registration done, I want this upsell page done. She's like, and she was talking about going from here to here. And I'm like, we can just go to this platform and then put this. And she's like, really? And so I was able to get it done so she could go live the following Monday and, still be able to get people in before the workshop. So it was just the sometimes just talking to somebody who has a little bit of knowledge in that area to be able to say, oh no, that's the long way around. Yeah, that would work, but we can condense it. So
Wow. Well, and I feel like a lot of us also try and complicate things or we think
yeah,
it's harder than it is and just simplify
yeah,
it.
yeah. To say, and yeah, and it's a lot of times, I don't use AI a ton in my business, but there are
Mhm.
times that for a platform, it's like, can it do this? So if you
Uh-huh.
have something that you're paying for and you're like, I think I want to do this on it. I've even told clients that I'm like, just ask, just say, because doing a general Google search, you're not necessarily going to get a how to, whereas you go on AI and it will say, oh yeah, click here, go here. And it will tell you step by step sometimes, um, how to make it more efficient for you.
Hmm. Yeah. Isn't that amazing how much in the last even 6 months that has shifted?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. What do you recommend to clients about? Because I hear a lot of women also say, I'm afraid of AI, or I don't know where to start with it, or, they're just afraid to play around with it. Do you encounter that in your clients as well?
Um, I I don't write content. So
Mhm.
I'm often like, they'll send me a newsletter to, put it in the template. So I say I don't write content, but I can make it look pretty. So I can, do your banner and I can find some graphics to go with your content.
Uh-huh.
But sometimes they don't have a subject line or they don't have, so I'm like, okay,
Oh.
copy and paste your newsletter into chat and say, give me
Hmm.
5 ideas for subject lines, or, so that's more where I would, and encourage my clients, like, or you have an idea that you want to use for a newsletter or, to build out something on your website, and just ask for, and I always give it a number, like, give me 3 ideas or give me
Mm.
5 ideas. But like, say you want to have 3 points, key points in your newsletter, and be like, okay, here's my topic, here's a story to go with it. Now, what are 3 ways? I mean, for me, my newsletter is about helping entrepreneurs organize or get something, make their, business easier on their own. And I'm like, how can that be compared to real life? And so,
Mm.
because sometimes then that pops up and it may not be anything that I even want to use, but it just gives me that idea. It's like, oh yeah, it reminds me of a story or something that is going on in
Mm.
my life that I can actually personalize it. So yeah, I don't recommend just putting it in and then copy and paste and using that as your newsletter, but always personalize it. You can use it for, social media, you can use it for newsletters, you can use it for your website. I was recently did some updates on my website, and I was kind of one of those where I was like, okay, I had attended this thing and they said value stacks. I'm like, what is a value stack? So, I'm like, based on the information about me, because I had already like,
Yeah.
go to my website and read what and so it was able to actually help me pull some number, I had to find the numbers, but then I was able to say, okay, this is how many clients I've had, this is how many email I've helped clean up, those types of things. Whereas I didn't even think about what a value stack was. I needed more ideas. So you hear words. So that would be, short, you hear words, just ask, like, give me examples and how does that relate to my business? So, you got to, obviously you have to kind of train it so it knows who you are, but yeah.
Yeah, I agree. The more you use it, the more it gets to know you.
Yeah.
And the more it sounds like you, the more it
I do
really is
recommend going
effective.
into the settings and shutting off the share with everybody else.
Yes.
There is a slider in there for that.
Yeah.
But otherwise it's nice to be able to build on your own. So like I said, when I throw a newsletter idea in there, I'll be like, okay, make it sound more about like me because you know this about my about page and you have this idea from my testimonials people have given me or something. So
Yeah. Yeah, that's very helpful. It saves a lot of time.
yeah.
And it's a kind of a gut check too, although you don't want to rely on it for your only source of
Right. For sure. Yeah.
information.
Yep. And that's, yeah, especially if you're doing research, I definitely recommend cross-checking with other places.
Yeah.
Because I've had people where they do it and they're like, oh yeah, it says it's, it gives you your examples of where it's at. It's like, but that's not exactly, they're pulling quotes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's a lot of context
yeah.
or
So
yeah, and it's getting better too, I feel like, but it for a while, and it still does, but it's less now,
yeah.
makes things up because
Right.
it wants to
Doesn't know.
please. It's like
Yep.
a puppy crossed with a teenager.
Right.
So, kind of a smaller attention span, one thing at a time.
Yeah.
And they want to please. The chat that you're working with, it wants to make you happy. And
Yeah.
so it will tell you things that you want to hear, even if it's not true.
Well, I had a client that hired me to help her transcribe her podcast because when she originally recorded them, she didn't have it. So she's got some older podcasts she wants transcribed. And I asked chat, can you do this? And they're like, oh yeah, I can use this.
Exactly.
And like 3 days later, I kept getting like there were no transcripts. They weren't even actual, like I got the date and some of them had the title filled in of the podcast, but like there was no information. I'm like, I need this for my client. And it's like, I'm really sorry. I shouldn't have told you I could do it.
Oh, geez.
So, I mean, and then obviously we ended up going to OtterBox, directly going through them. But it was just one of those where you told me you could use your free resources. Yeah. So why do I have to now pay for a subscription? Well, my client paid for it, but I'm like, don't say you can do it if you can't do it. Just tell me no so I can move on.
Exactly. Yeah, I had a very similar experience about a year ago when it was, early on. I was looking for the top 10 episodes from the previous year of my podcast. Okay. And I asked, okay, here's the link to find all the podcasts.
Yeah.
Can you do this? Oh, yeah. I'll get it to you. I'm like, okay, take your time. And I want to see, what were the ones that were most valuable for people and most watched and most, and 2 weeks later, it's like, oh, just give me 2 more days. Like, is this even possible? Well, no.
I'm still thinking.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, and it's a learning curve for us that are using it and training
like
it.
You said, as long as people are aware that they can't just take what they get out of it at face value. They have to like have some, common sense, read everything that you're getting, make it your own. Verify it. Yes. You don't just, I'm sure you can do the same thing I do. You go on social media, you can tell the people that literally just copied and pasted them over.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, you don't want that to be your business. You want to be somebody that takes the time to make it your own, which is kind of why I don't write content, because it's just not, I don't know you well enough. I don't know a client well enough to be able to make it. I can tell you all kinds of people that can help with like brand voice, and so they can write content for you. That's one of my referral list people is I'm like, I always want to have a list of people because you got to find a good fit too for something like that.
Hello, friend. Let's be real. When's the last time you did something just for you? Enter Wine Camp 2026. We're talking wine tastings, fire pit chats, sunset dinner cruises, and 0 cooking required. Just show up, sip something fabulous, and reconnect with the version of you who loves adventure, sisterhood, and a glass of local Riesling in hand. Sweet, dry, or both. No judgment here. We're heading to New York's gorgeous Finger Lakes, July 31st through August 2nd. And yes, it's as dreamy as it sounds. Secure your spot at pennyforyourshots.com/wine camp. Don't wait. Room options are limited. And my crystal ball says we're going to sell out. Bring your besties or fly solo like the fabulous free spirit you are. You'll leave with new favorites either way. Wine Camp 2026 is calling. The only question is, are you in? Find out more at pennyforyourshots.com/wine camp. Absolutely. Yeah, somebody who speaks like you do, someone who understands your goals and your heart and your intent
exactly.
and all of it.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So you take a business owner's content and then you make it pretty and you put it into a website, you do a blog for them. What things do you accomplish for them?
So I also will do email inbox. I've done like cleanup. So I had a client that had over 100,000 emails and we got down to 10,000 in a week, so
wow.
Just figuring out, okay, what do you really need to keep? What can be archived? What, that sort of thing. I have, but then also in the email, I've got a couple of ladies that I check. One's daily, multiple times a day. The other one's a couple of days a week. And we just have decided this is how much time I spend in there. Then these are ones that I can reply to. If she happens to get in there, she can move stuff in there that she wants me to take care of. Newsletters that she can read later, those types of things. I just kind of keep the main inbox empty so that she doesn't go in and have 50 emails every time she wants to do something.
Wow. That sounds amazing.
Yeah. And that's what, she says that every once in a while. She's like, she actually going out of time. She's like, you're the best. I'm glad I don't even have to think about it while I'm gone for 3 days. So
nice. Yeah.
And then for that same client, she has a community that's over 50,000 people. And so a Facebook community. And so I'm what she calls her community manager. And so I'm in there again, multiple times a day and just answering questions, leading them to her freebie, free training, whether it's blog posts or videos, and answering questions, just maintaining to make sure that we don't have a bunch of spam. And, when you get that many people in a group, you kind of just have to watch it.
Yeah.
So that's something that's a way that I've helped clients in groups. Something I enjoy, like setting up the automation funnels, because it's very satisfying when, you have that idea. Like I said earlier, you have to start with the idea and then you can make it work for a client and it actually, gets to the right people in the right time. And,
yeah,
and then all the follow up afterwards. So that's one of my favorite parts is automation. I do a variety of other things. I do some website updates in Wix and Squarespace, as well as, let's see, what else? Yeah.
Yeah.
I just kind of, I don't limit it mainly because if a client doesn't want to have 4 VAs, they can kind of get a lot of the same thing from one person. But at the same time, if they want something more specific, I went through a VA training and I have people, like I said, I have content, I have people that like edit videos because I can do just a little bit. Like I can add a header and footer and some lead in music for them, but I don't do a lot of like video editing beyond that. But I've got 2 or 3 names of people that I know and trust that I can say, hey, I'm in this group with them. It's less than 100 people. So, they're real people to me. They're not just the 50,000 people, it's small enough that I am confident in referring them out if they need something.
You've seen enough of their responses or posts.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And been in live Zooms with them and
nice
trainings and stuff like that. So
that helps. It's so hard it's from a creator standpoint, it's hard to hand off what you've worked on to someone else. And the piece that most creators are good at is creating and, talking with people and doing their creative, the meat of the business. But then the marketing side is so overwhelming for so many people.
Right. Yep.
Wow.
So there's so many different steps to that just have to, that's where, like we get the system in place and then whatever's repetitive, we can do that because, setting it up, like for me, for onboarding clients, I have the checklist of things that needs to be done for each client, as far as adding a folder on my Google Drive and putting their name in my time tracker and, just different stuff like that. I have a lot of that automated. So I make them an active client in my CRM, and these things happen. These are all the things that have to be done every single time. And then you don't have to rethink it and be like, oh, did I miss a step? Because you have it. Those
Exactly.
SOPs are, put together, and the procedures are figured out so that you don't waste time or waste time forgetting something, or waste time trying to figure out every time what you need to do.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, and then you get a wrench in the wheel that
Yeah.
is like your automations. Well, your automations are set up and systems are set up, but then you might have something pop up like, oh, the technology is down today, or
Yep.
ran into
Exactly.
that this week with my with editing. So yeah, it was very frustrating. I had a 45-minute episode an interview,
Mhm.
and was editing it for 30 minutes of it gone. Where did it go? I can see that it's still there somewhere, but it
You
had
couldn't see
created
it.
a second layer, and
Uh-huh.
it was really gross. So
That's,
yeah.
that's sad. You're like,
Yeah.
oh.
So yeah, what normally would take, an hour is now 4 hours. And I mean, that kind of thing just happens. And
And the stress just level keeps going higher because you're like, I know it's there, but I can't see it. And yeah.
exactly. Yeah. You just have to remind yourself that, okay, it's all right. It's all right. The
Just
important
one
part
time.
is,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. That. And well, like a creator would get, overwhelmed by all the things.
Right.
What piece of technology do I need? How often do I need to do this? What is, like all those questions, but those are,
Mhm.
I feel like, just kind of excuses to help us stay safe in our comfort zone so that we don't create a bigger impact. If we can't be seen, if we aren't seen, we can't be judged.
Right.
Yeah, and it's just sad. It kind of stops a lot of us from moving forward.
Yeah.
That's the thing that I work on with the women that I work with and coach, is not only the systems, but you got to have the mindset, and you have to be able to accept the growth that you're going to get, because your business only grows at the speed that you do.
Yeah.
So
For sure.
keeping that in mind, and just doing one thing, just taking that step, and if you're not comfortable with the editing, find Carrie, find a VA that
Yeah.
can help you with those steps, and like just taking that overwhelm off your shoulders and laying it out, and like, okay, what are you doing? Tell us about your process. How do you, like, when you first meet someone that might be interested in putting in some automations or taking some of the things off their plate, how do you approach it?
So yeah, usually I do it like a 30-minute discovery call, free discovery
Mm-hmm.
call. If they decide they want to work together, but they're not sure where to start, usually we can set up a strategy session and just look at what they currently have for system. Like, what are you paying for every month? Are you using it? Is it set up? Like, I mean, a lot of people have, say, a scheduling link and they don't have reminders set up, or they have,
Oh,
um, or they're missing emails because they don't have filters, or they're getting, stuff's going to spam, or they just aren't seeing something, or, um, and the list can go on and on. But, it's just looking at what they currently have, what they're currently doing, and then talking through it. I mean, some of them know they want a CRM, but some of them think they want, like Go High Level or Kajabi or Zoho, one of these great big things, but they could
mm-hmm.
get by with something small like Less Annoying CRM or Begin, or, something that they don't really need this big
The
to
bells and
start with.
whistles. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I talked through that with them. And I mean, as an example, I built a quiz for a client. It's been a few months ago now, but she's like, I don't know what quiz platform I want to use. I'm like, well, I did this course and this is the one that they recommended, but it's really expensive. I said, it's really good and it does all these great things. But I said, here's 3 other ones. And she's like, well, which one, and so she's like, okay, and we looked at the cost and looked at, what it could do and what can it integrate with. So what email platform could we connect it to, where her email sequence could go, and so, but I like to help a client narrow it down. So what do they need? And then I'll do some research for them if they want me to. And because, like I said, you can go out there and find 10 different email platforms when you really don't know, or, 50 different CRMs, and
Mhm.
if you haven't thought about what it can do, and just helping them narrow it down. And then of course I can help set it up, bring in their people, their contacts, and get that
Uh-huh.
initial stuff, and um, get some of the automation, it just depends on how far they want to take it. I love working with clients long term and keeping things going for them so that they don't have to think about it. My goal is like for you not to have to keep moving things down on your to-do list. So what are the things that you put on your to-do list that always wait till Friday afternoon because you didn't want to do them? It might be
Mm-hmm.
simple as, doing follow-up after networking calls. I've done that.
Mm.
Or if you're having workshops and you want to invite people, I've done personal invitations through Messenger or emails, from their account. So it's coming from them, but I, just helping them to see, or helping them to do those things, start the conversation, because once that conversation started, it's easier for them to take it over and follow up with keep it going.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes it's that initial, oh, I have this chat that has 50 people that I'd really like to connect with on LinkedIn, but I just don't have time to say, hey, it was great seeing you at such and such an event. I'd love to learn more about you, or however their wording would be, because
Uh-huh.
but then I can send, like I said, I can send those the initial connection, and then they just take over the conversation. But it's that first step that gets them, and that helps them move their business forward, because they made those connections and they didn't just attend the meeting. And which unfortunately, so many people do with networking. You go and you save the chat, and then nothing happens to the chat. But so yeah,
Exactly.
there's several examples of ways that we can work more specifically, just depending on, I really focus what I do on what they need, because everybody feels overwhelmed in different areas. And, some people, like I personally don't mind doing my own books, I'm invoicing, but I'll do invoices for other clients, but I will send, them to bookkeepers to do their actual books. I don't want anything else to do with their money, but, like, I don't want to be responsible for that.
Yeah.
But I don't have a problem following up with invoices and making sure they're getting paid, but don't ask me to like track your checking account. But anyway, so it's just, there's the different things that they need. Because like you said, as a creative, they're like, maybe you really enjoy editing the podcast, but you don't want to have to upload them. So like if you
Yeah.
can have a VA do that part and put the description in and the title in and make sure it's to all the places, and then post that it's live, and your email and your and
The marketing
of it,
behind it.
yeah, the
Yeah.
other stuff that goes with it, then those are the types of things that you could hand off to somebody, so you can enjoy the part you enjoy without having to
Exactly.
do that after list.
Yeah,
So
exactly. Yeah, when you do the things that bring you joy, it just creates more. It's attractive to more of the things that bring you joy. So
yeah.
it just keeps building on itself. It's this momentum thing. And like you were saying, with the networking events, some of those things are just so time sensitive. The
Hmm.
sooner you follow up with someone, when they remember you, when they
For
are
sure.
excited to talk to you again, or
Yeah.
maybe you had a connection in the meeting or in the Zoom or wherever it was that you met them, you want to really capitalize on that, or at
Yeah.
least, build that relationship. It's the beginning of a friendship, and you don't want to just a week
Let it go two
later.
weeks or 3 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So some of that stuff is so important.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's another thing that keeps us small. Because if
Yeah.
we don't reach out to those people, then I don't have to be uncomfortable in
Right.
starting a conversation. So those things that you do for them is big.
Yeah. And I did that for a workshop. It's been it was last summer. A client was doing a monthly workshop all summer long. And so she was doing a lot of great social media posting, but not that she wasn't taking the time, she just didn't have the time to respond to the post.
Oh,
So like I set up a spreadsheet, I put all the people's names that commented or, liked the posts. And then she went through them. She's like, oh yeah, I want to send them an invitation, and so then I was sending the private messages saying, hey, I noticed you like this post. Would you be interested? I have this workshop coming up, or would you be interested in it? And I think she told me at the end, she ended up having 30 more people sign up and attend the workshops as a result of those messages that were sent.
wow.
And I was like, for 3 workshops, I thought that was pretty good,
That's powerful. Yeah.
So, and she was able to see it because we had it tracked, like how many times were they were sent the message for the first one, and then did they get sent to the second one? Did they attend more than one? Those types of things. So we just put it on a spreadsheet. But like with the networking, that could be tracked in somebody's CRM, or it can just be tracked on an Excel, Google sheet, whatever. The Google sheet's great because like I can be entering stuff, but my client can see it at the same time. So as they do the follow-up, then they can mark stuff off, and it's always updated and active.
Love that. So. Shared and in real time.
Yep.
Wow. That's so powerful too, to have the metrics behind it to prove that, okay, this worked, this really didn't, you can see it. The numbers don't lie. I mean, you might have a gut feeling that, okay, I felt like this really worked, but then if you have the numbers to back it up, you can verify that, that really did work, or I thought it did, but money. Yeah, exactly. Wow. That's really important stuff that, to take that first step to just reach out to people after someone's met them. Yeah, that's a big piece of it. Keeping those relationships going and really getting them more solid. For sure. It's just really about serving people. Yeah.
Yep. And that's how I've grown my business, is through virtual networking. And like I said, not just attending the meetings, but building the relationships afterwards. So.
Oh yeah. That's what it's all about. Yep. People, you work with people, like and trust.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah. Well, and it's another thing that women are more in tune to, is building relationships. So that's great. Do you work mainly with women, or do you have some male clients as well?
A couple of, I don't currently have any male clients, but I have had a couple in the past. The only one that I would say wasn't a good fit was more because he was a product based, and most of my clients are service based. And he actually had like a brick and mortar. So it was hard. He'd never worked with a virtual assistant, and then he had a hard time delegating because he had like a two-person assistant, and then he had me, and then he was like, well, what do I have her do versus what do I have her do? So that made it a little so that relationship didn't last very long. I mean, I did what he needed me to as far as updating some. I cleaned up his desktop, and I remote logged into his desktop, because I didn't know that you could do this until I saw his desktop. But did you know that if you have too many things on your desktop, that if you slide over, you can actually have more things on that? He had 3 desktops full.
Oh, wow.
So I remote logged in and cleaned up his desktop for him, so he could actually all of his PDF files, because I couldn't delete anything because I didn't know enough about this. But I put all the types of files together, and they weren't labeled. So it wasn't even I could sort them by product or by this. They were numbers, stuff like I said he knew. But so I put them in, so I sorted all the PDFs are together, and all the Excel sheets are together, and so then I got it down to one page, and he only had 8 folders, and all his photos were now in one place, and so just but otherwise, yes, typically I work with women, like I said, service based, typically solo entrepreneurs. A few of them have small teams. A lot of my clients are coaches, but if you network, that you meet a lot of coaches of various kinds of coaches and networking. I've got somebody that's an attorney. I've got somebody that's a website designer, marketing, various things as well. Besides.
And do you work with all different kinds of platforms? I've heard you mention a few.
Yep. I'm willing to learn them. If not, like I said, I usually know I can find somebody that knows a certain platform. And I mean, like I mentioned, Go High Level. I had a client that wanted to have a community set up, and I'd done everything but set up a community in it. And so we, and I say this very openly, that if it's something that I think I will use for other clients, I will, the learning time is on me. I don't charge my clients for that learning time until I'm working on your stuff. So I had to do some research to figure out, okay, how do I set up the tiers, and how do I do this, those things. And then, it's okay, clock's on. So it was just one of those where, depending on the platform, sometimes it's, it's worked in, and sometimes it's, I just, because I want to learn it, if it's something that's common and that I'm often asked about, then I'll just learn it on my own. And then, like I said, once I start setting up your stuff, then that's when the clock starts.
Well, I would think that would be very helpful for clients as well, because if you have experience with multiple platforms and someone is looking for advice on, okay, this is what I want to do. You have knowledge of all of these different ways to do it, to
Yeah.
accomplish it, and you might
Well,
be able to.
and two, what their budget is, because like, for example, MailChimp, MailerLite, and ConvertKit, which is now just called Kit, but like
Mhm.
if they have a freebie and they're wanting to set up an automation, but their list is still kind of small, I would recommend MailerLite because you can stay on their free plan and have that automation with, as many like follow-up emails as you want, where you have to upgrade the other two in order to start sending multiple, like an email sequence.
Oh,
So like that's otherwise the other ones you can use on free for up to 500 contacts, which is usually enough for people because it takes a while to build up your list that much. But if you
hmm,
want to have your freebie with the follow-up emails, then you're like, oh, now I have to upgrade and it's $25 a month. And do I want to spend $25 a month yet? And those types of
right.
decisions where um, it's not always necessary. It depending on how much you're doing in your email, if you want to spend or if you want a certain company for whatever reason. But I mean, I recently switched from from MailChimp to MailerLite, and my open rate is actually just a little bit better than what it
Hmm.
was with MailChimp. So,
Yeah,
um,
and it's
so
easier to use.
yes. so, so in that sense, and I found like I have a client that uses Aweber and we're pulling stuff out of that to put it on another platform. And I had never used it, but once you find out what words mean what, like,
Yeah,
MailChimp uses Journey, and then you have your automation, and then you have your email sequence, and everybody uses different terms. So
yeah,
once you figure out that term, they're pretty much
hmm,
the same thing in the big.
yeah. Well, and as people grow, as the businesses grow, can
Yeah.
you help them migrate from one
Yes.
to another? Okay.
Yep. And that's what I'm doing. Like the one that's in Aweber, she's now moved up to go high level. So we're moving all of her contacts and
Okay.
all of her email sequences, and she's on another funnels, not click funnels. Yeah, click funnels. Like she's moving all
Okay.
of her funnels from that to that. So it
Wow.
can all be moved to the same one. So
Uh-huh.
some of it can be imported depending on how the platforms integrate
Hmm.
without the copy and paste. And other ones, yeah, it is literally hiring somebody to move it all over. But if you want to keep it, I mean, if it's stuff you're still actively using, it's worth it
Hmm.
to have it done and not have to spend the time yourself doing
Oh
it.
gosh. Yeah, I went through that last year. I moved from MailerLite to Kajabi
Oh, yeah.
and thinking that Kajabi would do all the things, and it does a lot of things, but it's a lot more complicated.
Yeah. Yeah. Their email sequences are a little harder to set up, I found.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I agree. But yeah, you get more bells and whistles with it,
For sure.
and the ability to like have your courses password protected at the client level, at the customer level. That was the main reason why I
Yeah.
switched over. But
Yeah. If you have a lot of courses or have a main like community, or not community, but a course that's goes out to a lot of people, it's nice to be able to have that.
yeah, the password protection was big,
Mhm.
and then for a customer, like if one of my clients were taking one of my courses and they log in, they're able to pick up where they left off and be
Yeah.
able to
Because
see
it's,
exactly. Yeah, because
yep.
it's at her level rather than my level.
Yeah.
This is what we're doing this
This is
week.
where we're
Well,
at. Yeah. This is
yeah,
the module that she completed last. And
yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, that's very helpful, but complicated.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
gosh. Well, what how can people find you first of all? Like how can they learn more about what you do and maybe set up a 30-minute conference with you?
Okay. My website is allinorderwithcarrie.com. I have a link there that you can, well, as you look around, you can see my services. As I mentioned today, there's a variety of different things I do. I do have them broken into kind of like 4 different areas. So sometimes it's hard to like, I don't know if she said all these things. So hopefully that will help to narrow it down. And of course, there's the buttons that lead to my link to have a meeting with me. If you're looking to get your email inbox cleaned up on your own a little bit, I do have under my free resources, there's a checklist of 5 different, there's 5 things to help you get started on cleaning up your inbox. Obviously, I'm always happy to help with that. If you get in there and you're like,
Mhm.
I still don't want to do it, But that's on there, and some past blogs. If you're interested in getting monthly tips, I just send a monthly newsletter, and helping. I guess I did mention this too, but just simple tips to organize your business. I do a little bit of mindset stuff, just basically getting in there and making sure that you're not overthinking all the things.
Oh gosh. Yeah. It's so
I like
easy
to
to
break
do.
it down into simple steps, and
Mhm.
hopefully I hope everybody can pull something out of it to apply, if not to their business, to their personal life. Because sometimes,
Mhm.
I mean, one of my big tips is setting a timer for 15 minutes. And because whether it's work or cleaning that closet or whatever, you would be amazed at what you can get done in 15 minutes. And it keeps you focused. So if you're easily distracted by your phone or, notifications,
Mhm.
say, no, I'm not looking at it for 15 minutes. I'm going to work on this project or work on this thing. But yeah, so
It's also a way kind of to gamify it. Like, how much
yeah,
can I get done in 15 minutes?
exactly.
Let's find out.
Yeah, let's see what I can actually accomplish. I only was
Yeah.
going to do one drawer and I got three done.
Yeah, exactly. And then the feeling of accomplishment. And then also that I only have to do this for 15 minutes. I can do anything for 15
Exactly.
minutes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's big.
So yeah, but yeah, I would love to talk to anybody. Like you said, I've got the 30-minute discovery call, and very low key. I'm not a high pressure salesperson. If you have questions, I'm happy to answer them and help where I can.
That's very cool. I'll put your link in my show notes as well so people can
Okay.
find you easier and all. But is there
Sounds
anything I haven't asked you that you would love to share with people?
We live in a small cabin in the woods, have about 4 acres and 40 chickens and two Rottweilers, as you met Gertrude, and Mildred is our other one. 3 kids,
Mildred and Gertrude. That is so cute.
3 kids in their 20s, 2 daughters and a son, and I've been married for 28 years. So
Oh,
married my high school
wow.
sweetheart. So he
Oh,
still works in the town where we graduated. So
oh my
yeah,
gosh.
yeah, that's a little bit about me, like personally, but
That's really
um,
cool. Okay, so on a personal note, I was telling my husband who I was talking with today, and he goes, McWherters. I think we grew up with some McWherters, but you guys grew up there, right?
in Cedar Rapids, his next closest sibling is 11 years older than him. My
Okay.
husband is the youngest of six. And we
Okay,
graduated
so
in Springville is where we actually graduated.
Springville. Okay, so my husband was born in Cedar Rapids,
Oh, okay.
and then I think he was 12-ish when they moved to Loudon in
Okay.
Iowa. Yeah, but a
Still in
small
Cedar
world.
Rapids. That'd be funny.
I bet he knows them. Wow, that's
that,
fun.
that would be too funny.
So at the end of all my episodes, I ask my guests a fun, unrelated to business question. And that
Okay.
is, what is your favorite cocktail or glass of wine? Do you have a favorite beverage?
Um, I don't really drink wine or cocktails.
Okay. Okay.
Um, Something that I do drink on a regular basis. I don't know if you've ever heard of a lotus drink. Um,
No,
so it's a fruity, it's actually a caffeinated drink made from the coffee bean, but it doesn't taste
really?
anything like coffee because I don't even like the smell of coffee. But different coffee, not coffees, whatever, cafes, whatever, coffee stores,
Uh-huh.
coffee shops, that's the word I'm looking for, will make them like if because they use the syrups that would be like to flavor
Okay.
only the fruity ones instead of your vanilla and that sort of thing. So
Uh-huh.
yeah, so a friend of mine introduced me to those. So I usually make one of those every day. So that's we
Oh,
finally just
nice.
buy them, we buy the big bottles because why do you want to go to and spend $6 for a cup when you can make your own when
Right. Oh my gosh, it's
you can
gotten
get a
so
whole lot more
expensive.
than six out of the bottle for the price.
Yeah.
Um,
So it's called a lotus drink?
Lotus, yeah,
Okay.
Lotus.
Okay. And then is it made with coffee?
Nope, it's just the syrup. There's like bases,
Okay.
so there's a pink
Yeah.
base, a red base, a blue base, um, and it's just made from the coffee bean. To get the
Okay.
caffeine is what basically what they're
Oh,
taking out of it. So it's a caffeinated drink, but yeah,
okay.
coffee flavored at all.
Okay. So it's kind of like an
And
energy drink of some sort.
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
basically
But with
with
fruity
fruity.
flavors.
Yeah, and so yeah, like there's the purple base, and then I put pomegranate, and what else do I put in there? Pomegranate and desert pear and blueberry
Mm.
is what I put in there today.
Ooh, sounds fancy.
So my
Very
husband's
fun.
like, why do we have to have these hanging on or all sitting on the shelf? You don't need all that syrup. I'm like, you get your fancy coffee. I'm gonna have
Yeah.
He's like, it's diabetes in a bottle is what
Oh,
he like
geez.
jokes because it
Just
is
never
like
you mind.
the straight syrup like that you add to the other. So but
Yeah.
anyway, I'm like one a day. I can do it.
That's right. That's right. We all have something that we love that,
Not that he really cares, but he just has to get me
yeah,
right.
of course. Of course. Okay.
Yeah.
So
So,
what's a favorite memory with girlfriends? Like just chatting or having a nice
um,
lotus with them?
so I am a quilter. And
Ah,
this summer, my two best quilting friends, we got an Airbnb in June and we sewed for 5 days straight. So it was really nice. We all picked the same pattern. We
oh,
picked our own fabrics, and then
uh-huh.
it was a new pattern, new designer. So we learned new techniques together. And
Oh, fun.
so yeah, the quilt I counted the other day and it actually has like around 640 pieces of fabric in it.
Oh my God.
And I will have it
That's a
done by
lot.
the end of August. So
Oh, wow.
started it mid-June and we'll have it done in the next couple of weeks. So
Oh, wow. Okay. So
yeah.
how much time do you spend on it? Do you do something daily on it?
I didn't work on it for a few weeks because I was hired to make some quilts and stuff. So
Oh,
when we got home, I was working on those. Um, but what I've been doing here lately is like, I take and I have to pin sections on and then I have to sew and are you a quilter? Do you know?
I used to do some
Okay. Do you know
dabble
what
in it.
paper piecing is?
I think so. What
So you're
a
sewing the
lot of my
line,
people
like,
won't. Yeah.
okay. But so anyway, you actually sew right on the lines on the paper and then you have
On
to
the
tear the
paper.
paper off. But
Yes.
there's a
Okay.
lot of curved seams. So when you put them together, you have to pin it in a special way. So anyway, so I go down like in front of the TV at night, I'll pin the next sections. And then during the day between my meetings, I'll sneak over to my machine or before my husband gets home and I'll sew those next pieces and then I'll do.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, if anybody wants to see it, I have like my progress pictures are on Facebook. So you can follow me on Facebook and
Oh, fun.
shoot me a message if you're going to send me a friend request because tell me why you're sending because I
Oh,
don't accept everybody. And I'll be like, guess this is going on a podcast. I might get some unfamiliar names on there, but happy to. But yeah, if you're interested in quilting and want to see it, that's
that's
about all
so
I post on
intricate.
Facebook is like quilting,
Uh-huh.
dogs, and chickens occasionally. My kids are grown, so I don't do a lot of kid pictures. And this one here was made by my great great grandma.
Oh, I wonder. I saw that over your shoulder. That's so,
Yeah, it was
hopefully
all
people will
hand
be,
pieced. So
oh my goodness.
yeah,
There's a
so that was
lot of angles and
yeah.
different pieces in there. Wow. Yeah,
But
that's
yeah,
beautiful. And just to
that's
have
my
that heirloom.
yeah. It
Mm.
sat in a cedar chest for years. And then when I started quilting, my mom's like, hey, do you want to? She had 4 tops. They weren't even finished. And she's like, well, since you're a quilter, do you want to pick out the one you want? I was like, okay, yeah, I'll take this one.
Yeah, please.
And then we found a group at a church that they do hand quilting. So like the group gets together and they have it on a big frame and, like
Oh,
what the
yeah.
Amish do now. But in the
Yeah.
old days, everybody like had their quilting days and they quilted it. They all hand quilted it as well. So it's been
Wow.
completely hand done.
That is women getting together and sharing expertise and sharing stories with each other and just connecting.
Yeah.
It's just so important. And to do it over a quilt while you're accomplishing something.
Yeah.
Mine's usually over a cocktail.
Yes.
Yeah, it's all
So,
about the connection, Pete.
yeah.
Talking with women and building those friendships and relationships. And
Yeah.
it's a support group, really.
Yeah, it's been great. I mean, the quilting has been, we do that one just with our small one. We usually do 2 small ones a year, and then we have 2
Uh-huh.
bigger ones that we do every spring and fall
Oh, wow.
with 25 ladies at each of those. So come here.
Gertrude's like alerting you to a squirrel or something.
Probably the other dog's probably at the bottom of the steps, and she doesn't
Oh,
want to share my space.
yeah. Oh my gosh, so
So,
fun. Carrie, this has been so fun getting to know you and hearing what you're doing and sharing that information. I appreciate your time. We should meet over a lotus and a coffee or something.
that would be good. We're not too far apart.
That's right. That's right. Oh my gosh. Well, thank you again. Have a great day.
You too.
That's a wrap on this episode of Penny for Your Shots. If you loved today's conversation, don't let the inspiration stop here. Get my weekly insider updates straight to your inbox. It's where I spill behind the scenes goodies, exclusive tips, and all the fun stuff I don't always share on the podcast. Sign up now at pennyforyourshots.com/insider. I'll see you in your inbox next Thirsty Thursday. Cheers!